Elements provides a range of options to allow you to configure how the border looks on your objects. So in this test project here, I've got a selection, and you can see I have the borders options over here. Currently it's set to none, so it's displaying nothing, but I can switch that to static, and straight away it's adding a 2 pixel border to my object. So let's reselect that, and we can change the color here to anything we want. So hopefully you can see that change around the edge. Let's set it back to brand so it matches our theme. And we can set the opacity. And we can also set the width of the border. And you can set that independently on each edge. Now these values are pulled from the Theme Studio, but if you want manual control, you can press the mask and paintbrush icon and then just click and drag on here to set the width on each corner. So you can do some nice effects with this. Let's switch that back to being controlled by the Theme Studio. So, and I could set this to 4 for a bit more of a chunky border. And you'll notice our content is pushed right up against the edge of this border. Now, if we wanted to create a bit more space here, I would go to my spacing control, and I'm going to set some inside padding on this. I'm going to set it to 5 on all sides. So now we can see our border is nicely wrapping around that content and there's some space. So let's select this again and go back to our border options. And finally, we have a radius option down here where we can set the corner radius. Let's set that to 2XL. So you can see this starting to curve in here, and we can set this on all edges. Let's do that. And now we have a nice curved border on there. And these values are set up again in the Theme Studio, but you can also press the mask and paintbrush icon, and then you can control these with pixel values like so. So very straightforward. There's a few more options in here before we finish up this quick tutorial. The style is solid. We can change it to dashed and dotted. I like the solid style there. We can also set hover states on this, so you can have a start and an end setting. So already you can see our options are different there, and it just animates between the two states. So let's switch this to the same color, and we could increase, we could set these to 0 and this to 10 when we hover in. And you can see how that changes there. Let's set all these all to 10. Let me click off this so you can see. And now when I hover into this object, you can see the border animating. So it's really flexible stuff. And the start and end state is very useful for setting borders on buttons, so you can animate those, even just the color. Very useful. Let's set that back to none, and we can see on the button I have here the start and end state are pretty much the same. We just get a little bit darker on the end state there. But what we could do if we wanted, we could set a border radius on here, and we could curve those borders in when we hover. Let's do that, and then let's go and view this in Safari. And now when I hover into this button, the corners get that nice radius on them. So really flexible stuff. And I hope that has shown you the basics of working with the border control in Elements. And if you need any more information on that, please visit the online manual or post your questions in the forum.